Chapter 63-33. When Charlie and Maria arrived in Northern Europe. It was exactly 3 o'clock in the afternoon, local time. Although Northern Europe had already entered winter, the temperature was not low. It was even warmer than Orus Hill. And the perceived temperature was more comfortable than expected. It's just that the latitude of Northern Europe is very high. When winter comes in the Northern Hemisphere, the daylight hours are relatively short. Although it is only 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it is already dusk, and the sun has already reached the horizon. It was Charlie's first time to come to Northern Europe in winter. He couldn't help but look at the clock on his phone that had been switched to the local time and sighed. This place is really interesting. It's dark at 3 o'clock. Maria smiled and said, Oslo is considered to be in the south of the country. So there are still 5 hours of daylight in winter. In the northern part, it is about to enter the polar night. And the sun will not be seen for about 1 or 2 months. Charlie sighed, I'm afraid I will get depressed if I stay there for too long. No, Maria said with a fascinated look. Young master, you don't know that the polar night is actually quite good. You can see the aurora at any time in the ice and snow villages near the poles. The villages are sparsely populated. And there are often more sled dogs living in the villages than people. For people like me who have been hunted and lack a sense of security, the 1 or 2 months of living in the polar night is the most relaxing time of the whole year. Charlie instantly understood Maria's words very well, and felt a little distressed for her. He sighed, so, the night is indeed safer for people who need to hide. Maria smiled and said, now is the season to watch the aurora. When you are done with your business, I wonder if you can accompany me to the northern part? Okay. Charlie agreed without hesitation. Maria was very happy. And her heart had already flown to the magical polar region where ice, snow, pine and cypress, and the aurora echoed each other. As soon as the two got off the plane, the Nordic royal family's vehicle was already waiting there. Waiting for them was a capable middle-aged woman. She walked up to Charlie and said respectfully, Mr. Wade, I am Susan White, the housekeeper of the Nordic royal family. You can call me Susan directly. Her Majesty the Queen asked me to pick you and Miss Lynn up. She is already waiting at the palace. Charlie nodded and said politely, Thank you for your hard work. Susan said very humbly, It's my honor. After that, she and another accompanying driver took the initiative to open the back door of the car for Charlie and Maria, inviting them to get in. After the two got in the car, Susan and the driver also returned to the car. The driver started the car, and Susan, who was sitting in the passenger seat, said, Mr. Wade, Ms. Lynn, Her Majesty the Queen has already informed the customs. And you two do not need to go through the entry formalities. As she said that, she turned around and handed the 2 certificates to the two. And then said, This is the relevant certificate of diplomatic immunity. If you two plan to travel freely here these days, if you encounter the police or other government departments to inquire about your documents, you can show this certificate to the other party, and they will give you the maximum convenience. Okay. Charlie nodded and took the 2 certificates. He sighed in his heart that Helena was really careful. He and Maria both had Oriental faces, and Charlie could not speak Norwegian. If he left the royal family and moved freely, if he encountered the police or other public officials to inquire about his passport, he would probably be found to have no entry record and be regarded as a stowaway. With these 2 certificates, there would naturally be no such hidden dangers. It just so happened that Charlie was indeed planning to take Maria around. After all, she had deep feelings for this country, and she probably wanted to go around and have a look. The royal car drove straight out of the airport and rushed all the way to the palace in the center of Oslo. At this time, Helena had already been looking forward to meeting Charlie in the palace. Her grandmother, the old Queen Iliad, was also looking forward to meeting Charlie. Seeing Helena pacing in the main hall of the palace, sometimes happy and sometimes shy, the old queen couldn't help but stepped forward and said, Helena, when you see Charlie later, you should be reserved and show the temperament of a queen. Ah? Helena asked shyly. Did I show it very obviously? The old queen teased her. You are just short of writing the words "my lover is coming, I am very happy" on your face. How could that be?